How's it going, everybody? We're here with Israel, photographer for InView Media, also videographer. And of course, we have the famous, infamous Ariana Ortega, editor for InView Media. Also does invoices and other stuff behind the scenes that I don't even know what she does. So we're here. We're doing our second podcast for our YouTube channel. And also we're going to actually stream it to Spotify and also other podcast locations so you guys could listen, or if not, stream. So we're gonna go around the table. I'm just gonna give the mic to Israel.
Yo. Hi, my name is Israel. I'm the photographer, videographer, InView Media. I met my guy Irvin about like maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago, something like that, you know, a variation of that. It gets blurry. I can't remember that well. I've been doing a lot of work with him. And then I met Ariana too, the same time, probably same exact time. And yeah, the cool cats, real cool cats that I've met, and I've been having a blast working with them, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I'm 24. I've been shooting video probably for like 4 years now, probably, and never did real estate though until I met my guy. And yeah, he got me real into it, and now I'm trying to fly, bro. Trying to fly for sure.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So how did you guys even meet?
Link up
or like, come in contact with each other? How did that happen?
Literally just I was on Instagram. I was looking for like just a bunch of work pretty much. And I was on Instagram, saw the InView Media post that he just looking for a photographer, videographer.
Yeah.
I hit him up in the DMs,
Did you see it through the InView account or
oh, no,
his
actually,
personal
I think
account?
it was his personal account, right? Yeah, I think it was Pacheco Productions for sure. Follow that. Follow Pacheco Productions, shout out. But yeah, I followed him on there, and then I just shot him a DM, and yeah, my boy,
The rest is
literally,
history.
rest is history. He literally messaged me like real quick after that, got on a phone call after that too, set up an interview, I think next day, and then it was set. Came through. I was here on time. I was
Exactly.
I was dapped up, dressed up, and everything. Ready.
Button up shirt and everything.
You were dressed up. I do remember
dressed up.
Irvin mentioning that too. Like he's like, he showed up. He was on time. Like he was dressed. You know, like he looked good.
I know it's photography, videography, and we don't dress like that, but it was an interview still. It was an interview still.
You know?
Yeah.
I have to give that impression. I was like, all right, he's professional.
Exactly.
But now I see you every day. I'm like, where did that go?
Not in that button up, that's for sure.
So like Irvin, when you, I guess, got contacted by Israel and you met up with him, what were things that stuck out to you when you interviewed him and spoke to him that, you know, really made you want to bring him onto the team?
Honestly, at first, everything when it comes down to bringing in anybody within the company, there is a hesitation. So we do have a process as far as like, okay, there's an internship. It wasn't right away like, hey, you're hired, you got the job because I like your personality, or I like the tone, or I like your camera equipment. It was more off of, okay, I see that you're hungry, I see that you're driven, you answer the questions correctly. Let's move forward. These are the terms that I'm kind of putting in place. And then if you meet these terms, you're going to actually come into the team. But I was very realistic. I'm really realistic with anybody that comes into the interview that I have them do with me. I basically just say, hey, this is an internship. We are hiring people, but there's skill levels that need to be met first in order for you to actually get paid from us. And of course, you kind of said you agreed on everything. You're like, all right, I'm down to learn. I'm down to shadow. I'm down to like listen and kind of go through the process that you're telling me. And then from there, it was more off of, okay, he met those terms, and officially, what was it, a month ago? I think we kind of had you sign a contract or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was about a month ago. Yeah. So everything at this point, it's been flowing between the team. Everyone's still kind of learning how to like maneuver around everybody. But that takes time and experience. But you know, overall, like everyone's chill. You know, like me, Israel, you, and then of course we have Jordan, and then coming up next is Mr. Aaron, which is actually helping us out today on the soundboard.
Aaron,
sound guy for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of how it went. So
yeah, and it went good. I think, in my opinion, it went as smooth as it possibly could, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, he did tell me about his brother. We did bring his brother in too.
That's true.
He is now going in, it was kind of the same process, but a different form where we asked them, hey, are you down to actually learn how to do real estate editing when it comes to the videos? And now I left it to Ariana where, hey, I need to see if you could kind of guide them through the steps as far as like how to have a certain way of looking at the house when we actually import the house, and, you know, just basically have the same eye for the editing section so that the client doesn't even know who's editing which video, and it's already met when the product is delivered.
That's standard.
Yeah, but he's doing really good. So we officially brought him in this month. We're kind of bringing in people slowly, and then hopefully the team keeps growing, and, you know, success, you know, keeps coming.
Yeah. It's been awesome. It's like we brought you in, Israel, and then your brother
How's it
does
been?
editing.
My brother, pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's been good, right?
It's
I
been
hear a
really
lot about
good.
it.
Yeah, he's really good, and
That's good.
I enjoy like working with him. And I look forward to watching him like just get better with the real estate stuff. Because, you know, when it comes to editing, it's just same with videography, same with photography. It's like, depending on what it is you're doing, it's going to be a little different. And real estate is very different from
a very different thing,
everything else. And I think
creative things.
Yeah. And I think sometimes people can look at real estate as boring or, you know, just like, they don't see it as being very creative, but once you really get into it, especially because it's so new now, I feel like we can kind of take the lead on making that like as creative as we want, or you know, pushing it and taking it to that next level.
And you have low-key, you have, because I mean the videos I seen from you guys all the time, even from when I wasn't in the team, I mean that's what got me to like want to, you know, show up pretty much, because it's good editing, it's good creativeness, and I saw the creative in it, even though it's real estate, you know what I'm saying? People don't see it as that, you know. But
what was your first impression as far as like thinking about doing, even coming into the interview, about what this was or what it is?
For sure. I knew that I wasn't like trained in that section at all. That's for sure. Because I know how to use a gimbal. I know how to do. I mean, I did weddings, you know, and things like that. But I knew it was going to be a whole different story going into real estate, because even just seeing the videos and things like that, I would see you do the speed ramps and things like that, you know, like all the little details. And I never really, even my brother, like he never did speed ramps either before, you know. So learning speed ramping now and everything like that is making him a better editor, you know, too. And I think it's just that creativeness of where you take something so plain and bland, I feel like, and you make it, you know, so big and so like exciting.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what intrigued me into that, because I would see the videos, and I mean I looked up, you know, your page and everything before I messaged you and stuff, obviously. So for sure that's what got me to message, you know, to DM, because I was just like, all right, this is, it's just houses, and you're making them look cool, you know, you're doing the panoramas and around these nice little, you know, what they call the kitchens and stuff, and I don't know, it's just details for sure.
Going through the process as far as like when we were doing the internship and I was training you both, right? I think I had you do photo and video at the same time. Was it was it discouraging or encouraging, or was it something that wasn't really like met in your head, like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be this hard?
I get what you mean. I feel like for sure I didn't think it was going to be this hard. I knew I didn't know the craft, but for sure I didn't think it was going to be as hard as to grasp the craft. Well, I guess like it's the time, you know, the timing of how fast you go into a house and how fast you get out of a house, doing photo and video, or just doing photo by itself or just doing video by itself. I think for me it was like, oh, okay, I think I'll be able to get it down and be able to do these, you know, houses like pretty much faster than what I am doing them now. But once I got down to the dirt and actually doing it, it's a hard job, that's for sure. So for sure, it's a hard job, but I mean, the video makes it look easier than what it is. You know?
It's like a minute, 2 minutes.
Exactly.
And we're in there for like an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just that's for sure. It is way harder than what it seems, but I mean, it's for sure doable. And learning both at the same time for me, I mean, I think I really liked it just because I'm able to just like, right for now, example, like today I'm about to go do a diamond package, you know, and I'm glad I'm able to do a diamond package because I was able to just grasp those two crafts together and not just do one and then the other at the next month or the next, 6 months that come from now. I wanted to just get as much as I can so I can just get the team moving and I could do more, get the routine and get as fast as my guy Irvin, because my guy Irvin fast.
He is fast. Sometimes I'm like surprised.
That's
he's like, he's back in the office and I'm like,
exactly.
You're done already? And I was like, didn't you have one? And he's like, yeah, I'm done.
That motivates me though.
Like he was in Camarillo yesterday. What time was that listing? At like noon?
Yeah, it was at 12. I was there with you guys in the morning, and I'm like, all right, I gotta dip. No, I was almost done with the house by the time you guys were in the house. And I'm like, all right, I just have to do the upstairs, and I'm basically just gonna chill with the realtor for a little bit, make them feel comfortable, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta go. And then got to Camarillo, and then the same thing. I'm like, all right, move around the client, move around whoever lives in there, and then I'm like, I gotta dip because I have another interview. And then I have to go edit, and then it's a lot.
Yeah,
so
like
it's just a base routine for me now.
Like I was at the studio, and I didn't expect you to even show up or even be here, and
he beat traffic.
Then he showed up the same time I did, and I was like, wait.
She was waiting for me.
It's funny.
I went and got like water and stuff yesterday, and so like I had like all this heavy
sodas.
Stuff, and I was like, I wonder if like Israel or Jordan's nearby so they can help me. And then like Irvin's there, and I was like, oh, perfect.
Like I was pulling up when she was pulling up. I'm like, all right. She's like, oh, I got a bunch of cases.
I was like, can you help me?
By the way, he doesn't speed either. That's for sure. He doesn't speed either. So
he drives the speed limit for sure.
I'm chilling. I ain't about to like.
He just goes in and out of the houses really fast.
Yeah, real fast. And that's something that I really like, because I hope one day. I know for sure one day I'll get to that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've been doing it for 3 years now when it comes to real estate photography and videography.
Well, how long have you, or like time wise, how do you feel now compared to like even 2 months ago?
Better, that's for sure. Because I mean, a diamond package, the first one I ever did, I think took me like 3.5 or like almost 4 hours,
like
to be honest.
Completely alone.
Yeah, completely alone. Like,
do you remember
legit.
what house it was?
Yeah, I actually do. It was like it was on.
It was a vacant one?
No, it wasn't vacant.
It wasn't vacant?
That's the part where I was stressing, because that's why I was like, oh man, like I suck, like I gotta get better at this.
The owner of the house is like, he's staying for dinner.
Exactly. Luckily, he was a good guy. I mean, the realtor wasn't there, but the guy was a good guy. He completely understood and everything. I mean, I think once they see me that I'm not just sitting around or like looking at my phone or doing something, not working. I mean, they see me literally working the whole time, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess this takes time. I guess I understand, he's not just chilling in my house. So I think that gave me for sure I need to get better at this for sure, And now, I mean, I did one, I think 2 days ago, and I think I got out within like 2 hours, two to like maybe in a half hour, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was good, but it was vacant.
Yeah.
So that has like a little part to do with that. I feel
1000%.
like exactly, because moving around with the realtor and then moving around with the clients, it's kind of hard. It's very hard.
You're like, could you move to the other room?
Exactly.
Or we could see you from the window.
Exactly.
And then it's just
reflections, anything. It's just it's hard.
Yeah,
and
I'll see that in the video too. Like you'll be like shooting something, and then like
someone comes in,
and you're like,
Aaron's sound guy comes in out of nowhere.
Right? And you're like, that's a take. Like, I don't got it in me anymore.
No.
That was the take.
But yeah, I mean, I've noticed that too, where I need to get better, like being able to do my job and talking to someone. You know what I mean? Like I've noticed when Irvin does it, he is able to like literally just concentrate on what he's doing, but also still entertain the realtor or entertain the client. Because I mean, that's important to do. Yeah,
I guess that's a part of it that you probably wouldn't even have thought of as being part of it.
I didn't think about it either, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think about it either.
That's what's up. I mean, that's something you learned too, I guess, right? When you were getting into it?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was more off of the same thing that you felt the first time when you were in there for 4 hours, the inks of like, bro, like I gotta go because, like I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. So if I could at least entertain them in some way, at least they're entertained and I'm still doing my job. But it didn't hit me until newer people started coming into the team, and then realtors are like, no, we want you to be there, and I'm like, why? Like the quality is the same thing, the standard of everything's the same thing. But then of course I started really thinking about it. I'm like, oh, it's entertainment too. Like I'm really there to like become the friend of the realtor, but also make sure that the client that lives in that house, whether it's the owner or a tenant, that they feel at ease that I'm in there too.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that, like I said, I've never really thought about until like maybe a month, like what was last month where I was like, why is it that the realtor is willing still to wait for my schedule to calm down? It's not going to happen. My schedule gets booked like a week in advance, and that's something that I'm really trying to push it onto the realtor. I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not wanting to be there. It's just that I can't. Like, it's either you book me a week in advance, or it's more than likely I cannot go do your listing.
Irvin's a busy guy. Just know that, guys. He's a busy guy, that's for sure.
I'm always running around.
But the relationship with everyone that I've noticed, I mean, it's great. It's great, that's for sure. So that's something that I think also for upcoming people that come to the team and things like that, I think that's something as well, like being able to talk to people, you know, I didn't think that was going to be like a, you know, like a big part of the job, I guess, you know, requirement of the job. But yeah, that's for sure. That's a requirement for sure. Cause I mean, it'll help you get more clients. That's number one, get more jobs, get accepted by more realtors, you know, things like that. And yeah, that's something that I'm learning more and more and more. Cause I mean, before when I was in high school, I was a very talkative person. Then I stopped being so talkative, you know. So now I'm just trying to get back into that.
Yeah, you're pretty mellow.
I'm getting back into that mode, you know. Like, yeah, exactly. So I like to listen. I like to listen a lot.
I was like, "Where's Israel?" I was like, "Oh, he's right behind me."
He's right behind me.
I was like, "He's chill." I was like, oh, "He's so quiet."
Yeah.
Well, that's cool though. Like everybody has their own, I guess, within their own life experiences as far as like we all develop certain traits, and then of course from those traits we also like, hey, if I was way too talkative then. I'm going to learn how to listen first and then talk.
Exactly.
Not just to talk.
And that's what I think I went through in my life to where like, oh, maybe I should just listen a little more, you know, listen a little more.
Stop being rebellious?
a little rebellious, you know, don't be so stubborn. Listen to your mom. Listen to your mom, kids, your dad and stuff. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, and of course, are you the youngest?
No, I'm not. So I have in the team. Probably. I think
so,
I'm 24.
Yeah,
youngest in the team.
So I am learning new terms from Israel too.
Or maybe Aaron.
You know, I am learning new terms. I'm like, he's all telling me I was lost in the sauce. I'm like, what sauce? I'm like,
tapatio? You can't have too much sauce, yo.
What are you talking about?
Irvin's getting hip again.
Sauce,
I was like, what's going on here? I'm old.
Oh my gosh. Wait, you never heard lost in the sauce?
No, what was it like?
That's a good thing, Aaron. That's a good thing.
I think it was December.
He's never poured too much. I was
like, Israel, did he see that one video about those two kids, those island boys?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, bro, I was lost in the sauce. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what's this?
Nowadays, I'm not like that, you know. But back in the day, if you can imagine it,
yeah,
I was
that. Gonna look you up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Israel. What happened?
Do you feel like you're the youngest on the team? Like, do you feel like there's a big age difference?
Nah, not really. I don't think so. Because I feel like, I mean, whenever I talk to you guys or anything like that, it's not like oh, you don't even know this movie, you know, or you don't even know this. Yeah, it's not. You over here listening to 90s music or something. I know the music still and everything. Exactly. I think I was very into like a bunch of music and all that stuff. So everything that was like, I mean, my brother's like 27, I think, or something like that, 28. So I kind of like I'm kind of his age, I guess, too, you know.
Like the early 2000s, though.
I'm like 1997, so it's
I was born like
still 90s, 80s. You know.
Whoa, Irvin was born in the 80s.
Hey, that's good. That's good, man. That's good. I wish I was born in the 80s. Was lit.
The 80s.
80s, you could do anything, right? I mean,
Hairspray,
anything.
Ramones. Never grew out of it.
Yeah, that's usually what happens, right?
Yeah, no, I haven't really seen the difference as far as like the age gaps, as far as like how we communicate.
Yeah.
I feel like you're a really mature person as far as like what I've seen, and of course your work ethics too is one of those things that will always attract me to keep a person in the team and always like push them to actually work on whatever they need to work on and be patient on the person. I understand that what we're doing right now, it's a new craft.
Yeah.
And I'm not really expecting anybody that's coming in just to automatically just click with everything that I teach. You know, like
I mean, I wish.
time.
I hope someone's out there.
Right?
I hope someone's out there. That'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
Yeah, we're still looking. Yeah, we're like literally still looking. Like I had an interview. I think it was yesterday. He was pretty knowledgeable as far as like everything that I was kind of spewing at him, like the terms and stuff, and he has experience with cinema cameras, experience with DSLRs and all that stuff.
Nice.
But when it comes to what we do, it's a completely different thing. You know, you have to actually understand how to walk into the house and then maneuver around the house if you know the way that we want to go through the house isn't set up yet,
Yep.
like how to still navigate it without losing time, especially if it's like all three of us.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
how do you go around everybody
Yep.
and there being an owner, a tenant, or whatever, you know, like a mess in a room that we need to move a couch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a flow of things that unless you're doing it, you're
Yeah.
not going to really understand how to
That's
do
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
No, I didn't. Like, there's, that stuff I wasn't even aware of.
Even doing things for like just knowing that the editor is gonna get this, you know, it's kind of like really helped me like
Yeah.
understand, you know, like, oh, okay. Or sitting down with Ariana one day, you know, and things like that would really help someone understand, like, oh, okay, why you do something, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
because sometimes it is hard to like explain something to someone without knowing the why, I guess, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really good and extra help to do that, because then I understand why I would start here and there, you know, or why I get this certain shot. It's not just you feeling like, oh, you're just getting a shot, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's cool that your brother is actually now doing
Exactly
partial
that
of the
too.
edits, because
Yeah.
you guys live in the same house. And if there are certain things that he sees, I'm like, hey, it would have been better
Yep.
if you would have done this, because it helps me out long term.
Yep.
You know, it's just the flow of things. And the way that Ariana started, it was the same way. Like, she didn't know nothing, like, as far as like how I was going through the houses.
Thanks.
It was being realistic here.
No,
like,
yeah, because I didn't know
you know,
nothing.
it was like
Yeah, when
literally,
it
like,
came to real estate,
when it
yeah.
came to real estate, it was like, okay, this is what I do, but you see a video on YouTube or whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not the same way that how we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is how I usually start, or this, if I'm going to go upstairs, this is what I'm going to do. So I started putting those standards for myself, because back in the day, I was doing everything by myself. So I had to literally put a system so that it could work for me. But then, of course, when she came in, that same system, I applied it to how I was teaching her. And then, of course, I'm now teaching you guys so that it could help not only you to go into the house a lot quicker, but also help the editor to go in and import, export, and there you go, finished product.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, like I said, until you actually experience what we do, you won't really understand what we do.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you see like a minute video, 2 minute video, it's like, yeah, it's easy. But, you know,
It's not.
there's a lot of little, you're
There's a
navigating.
lot behind the scenes. Yeah, there's
You're
a whole.
navigating, you know.
Yeah.
whole
But no, I've
process.
definitely seen the progress that everyone in the team has been going through. I've seen your progress for sure. Like even just doing your exterior pictures. I remember the first couple
Yeah.
not videos.
Photos, right?
Yeah, the first couple of photos that we had, it was more off of like, okay, how long is it going to take, and then is the realtor willing to actually go and, you know, allow him to be there that long.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen your progress too, even since you started. Like, Irvin was kind of like, okay, you guys can go on your own and do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Doing.
Like back in, when was that? Like February, January? I think like
Probably like-
February, where you guys were like kind of just
Doing
like
everything
where he
together.
wasn't there with you all the
I see what you're
time.
saying. Yeah.
And
I
then
think it was a little later, probably
okay,
like a month later than January, probably.
like February.
Yeah, like February. Probably.
Yeah, from there until
Something like that.
now, like I see a huge just difference and improvement in what you're doing. And yeah, I think a big part of that has come from like you getting a little bit of like watching me edit a little bit and
Yeah, yeah.
understanding like that process. And then like now I think with your brother doing it, that's just gonna continue to
gonna get
like
bigger for
make
sure,
yourself
'cause
just so
that
much
guy-
better.
That guy for sure tells me what's up.
Yeah, I like your brother a lot.
He tells me what's
I've
up
heard
for
your brother
sure.
talk, the way that he talks
Yeah,
to you and
yeah.
the way that he like talks to me, completely
Completely
different.
different, yeah.
Completely different. He's like so mellow, introvert.
yeah.
He's like quiet.
How
I'm
does
like,
he talk
oh,
to
man.
Israel? He's just
He's
like,
With me,
Laser.
He's like very
straight
strict.
up. He's straight
He's
up.
very strict. I'm like, oh man, I
The way-
like
that's
this guy.
awesome.
It's the way.
It's cool. Like,
It's the way it
That's
has to be,
yeah,
though. I
I
feel
like that guy.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like when I was in high school and coming out of high school, I guess like I was a different cat, you know. And then and me and him always like bumped heads and always, well, not bumped heads, I guess, but I like conversation. And I like being able to talk to someone and
Yeah.
and them not completely agree with me, you know, all the time, because I don't like yes men, I guess, you know. I just like when someone tells me their perspective or their difference, you know, of what they think about what happened. Or I tell them like, oh, I got mad at this guy because this and that, and he's like, bro, like, you know, he'll tell me like, just why? like that's you're giving him your emotions instead
Yeah,
of like,
exactly.
you know, you're reacting pretty much, and you shouldn't be reacting,
Yeah.
things like that. So it's just little. He's my for sure my guide to just put
Like
me
a
back
mentor?
in. Yeah, a mentor kind of,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
cool.
he's really good. He's always been like reading books, always been reading like things online. You know, he's a real big computer guy. So he's just a lot of information he takes in a lot of
Yeah,
times.
it seems like he knows a lot when it comes
Yeah.
to technology and
That's
just
for sure.
different
Yeah,
things.
if even if you give him something he don't know about, give him a night, and for sure he'll wake up or not even wake up. He'll probably just,
He'll still be.
he'll still be going through it. You know, he'll still be working through it, and yeah, that's what really I feel like makes him that guy that just is able to actually get something and learn it really well. You know, because that's
Yeah.
something that I've always wanted to do, and that's something I've always wanted to like grasp from him, just because of the fact that he learned how to edit, he learned how to Photoshop, he learned how to like, you know, do all these things that I felt like I really still want to do. I still want to learn how to edit, learn how to edit videos, things like that, you
Yeah.
know. But him and he taught my little brother actually to edit and everything like that too. So I just feel like that's something I don't have, you know. I have that more physical work. My dad taught me more of like manual labor, things like that, you know. So that's why I think I am good with the gimbal, or I am good doing things like physically and learning
Yeah.
things physically. But that's something I'm really trying to grasp and trying to learn more. Like, I mean, even being with Irvin, he's been like doing weddings with him, doing real estate with him. He shows me more technical things with the cameras and things like that.
Yeah.
That I think is like really cool, because I'm like, okay, this is what I need to be a sponge and just grasp all of this, you know,
Yeah.
because all the other stuff
That's
with
awesome.
like physical work, I know myself and I know I can learn that pretty fast. It's the little technical work where I sit down and look at the screen and stuff like that. My eyes is just it just don't stay there, you know. Like even throughout this podcast, I'll
Yeah.
probably move it. You know? Like, it just,
So did you get into like
Yeah,
video and photo because your brother?
yeah, no, we
So-
both got
or was
into
it, like,
well, honestly, I told
simultaneous?
Irvin this one time in the car. We were driving back from like a listing from like, I don't know, Somar or something.
Yeah.
And we always been into like videos and not I won't say photos, not necessarily photos for sure. We were into videos. Like we always like Jackass was like a big deal to us, like a big deal to us, or like zombies, you know, like horror movies,
yeah,
horror
yeah.
films, things like that. And I told him I had like this big VHS cam, like just big VHS cam. My dad had it. Yeah, it was my pops, and we would just put it up and just start taking video of like in the night or
anything,
something,
yeah.
of just there's zombies coming and like, you know, like just kid
Walking
stuff, you
Dead.
know. Yeah,
that
the
sounds
first
fun.
shots of The Walking Dead and shit, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just other than that, just Jackass like type videos, you know, jumping off the roof to the trampoline with a balloon, like
What?
just
With the balloon.
that, like with water balloons on there, like just a
Oh
bunch
my
of
gosh.
things, like just he'll you know, when Jackass they walk out and they send you to go do something, and then something's just gonna happen, you know. Like, something's gonna happen. The floor falls from you. I don't know, like you get pushed off this balcony or something, and it was just really fun to us to take video of all that stuff. We still have all that stuff too. It's like in a hard drive, like on our old computer.
Are you guys ever gonna upload any?
We just gotta pull it back. Yeah,
You should.
we gotta get the time to
That'd be
just
tight.
pull it back and see what's up. I got one on YouTube, I think, but I forgot what it was called. It was
Should
I
watch
got
it.
this little scar right here. My brother burnt me with like a pan. That was an accident though. That was an accident, y'all. It was an accident. It was on purpose. It was no crazy stuff. But I got burnt with a pan. We were cooking some eggs, I think, at the time or something. I don't know. And we were just in the kitchen. He turned, and my hand was there and got burnt. It opened up pretty big.
Oh.
And then we were like, well, I mean, you got to put alcohol in it, right?
Oh my god.
And so we went outside and just
Filmed it.
filmed it. You just decided
I don't think
to
you'd put
film
alcohol on a burn though, would you?
it. I mean, I don't know. It opened up, so
You
I
put, like,
saw
oil or
Water.
something.
Maybe,
No, you
yeah.
put water. You don't put water.
You didn't put
Oh,
water.
no?
I don't know. I was a kid, so we didn't know any better. We didn't look it up. We just
Aloe
put some
vera.
oil and
There you go.
I mean some. I put alcohol on this thing and it burned. It burned a
Yeah.
lot, and yeah, I was just started crying. I shed a tear. I think I think I
Wait,
shed a
how
tear.
old were
bro.
you?
I think I was like maybe 10. Nah, like 14. Nah, hell no, not 14.
Yeah, I feel like
I was high
siblings,
school.
like, you know, sometimes you just get into just ridiculous
Just ridiculous
things.
stuff. Yeah. That's for sure.
I've definitely, yeah.
That's honestly what got me into video, bro. Yeah, I
bro.
think just
Start somewhere.
that little things like that, and then finally like going. I think like probably when I was coming, I was like in 11th to 12th grade. Me and my guy Sid, it's one of my best friends back then. We were doing like YouTube little like vlogs and things like that. We would go to the park. I'll have my GoPro and just pretty much on on the GoPro stick and stuff and just vlog. My little brother at the time was learning how to edit, and my brothers that's when they were learning how to edit and stuff. and then they chopped up some videos for us and stuff, and yeah, they look cool to me, you know, like they were funny, they're what YouTubers do now, I feel like, you know. So I just never got into the whole like, oh, let me post these, let me make money off of this, let me do all these things.
You're just doing it for yourself.
I just like the process, bro. I like having fun, I guess, you know. I having fun.
I for me, it was always the process as far as like doing the creative whatever I was doing.
Exactly.
But showing off online, it was never
something.
It never attracted me. It just it became what it was just because I had to post, you know. And then of course then people like the product, and then I'm like, okay, now people are hiring us as far as like from the product, but me posting something just to post, I'm like, I don't get nothing from it, you know. Like okay, I like doing it, and that's why I do it, not because I want the views or not because I want the likes. If I don't get likes, who cares, you know. Like I'm still doing what I want to do at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we still have to play the game as far as like the business right now, because you know, social media is a big proponent of, as far as the success of this business is social media. So that's why this is the biggest reason why now we are starting the podcast for InView Media. I started the podcast for my other company, Pacheco Productions, more off of the base that I needed to actually learn how to talk. You know, it was more like, okay, you need to learn how to speak, you know, that kind of thing.
Did you not know how to talk?
I'm the opposite of Israel. Like he was a talker when he was younger. I was literally super quiet in high school, and now it's always like, okay, now you have to develop certain traits to actually get that customer, you know, like going into the offices and meeting these new clients, feeling confident, learning how to actually navigate conversations, actually move the conversation where you want it to move. And then of course, that's kind of where I was putting myself into this uncomfortable position when I started the podcast for my other company, Pacheco Productions. I was just bringing in people that I admire or that I've known for a couple years. And then I was just listening, and of course I would analyze my own videos and just say, okay, sit up straight, talk a little louder, understand what the conversation or where it's going, and then just maneuver around that and then put it into real life terms. And of course now we're doing it for InView Media, but it's not for marketing reasons. Yeah.
And for sure that's the biggest, like, you got to do, if it doesn't scare you and you don't do it, I mean, that's like, I feel like you got to do what scares you, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And that's why I think I was into like making videos or trying to do those vlogs and stuff like that, because I was trying to just know myself or open myself up, and more of like not really just to post them and things like that, but just to like have fun, like really have fun with it, and not be so strict on myself, you know, so strict on myself. And I think that's what every YouTuber probably had to do, you know. Had to get in front of that camera and sit there and be like, "Hi, what's up, guys? You know, this, I'm this, and that."
It's so different being in front of a camera. It's so crazy.
And then hearing your voice after, you're like,
"Oh my gosh." You sound so right.
Exactly.
You just
even right now, I'm like, don't show me my voice because it's gonna.
I don't think we show it.
The energy's gonna be gone. The energy's gonna be gone. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like just watching people who you even see in real life, and they're very like, you know, like extroverted and friendly and talkative, and then as soon as you put a camera in front of them, they completely just like forget how to act, you know.
And I feel like
it's
that sucks, because I feel like they would really flourish in that, you know, like in that zone.
It just takes time.
World.
It's just odd to like have a camera on you, I guess, as opposed to just like, you know.
But I think that's what podcasts I feel like really do well. You know what I mean? Where sometimes there isn't cameras. You know, sometimes we're just listening to them, and I think like even doing that for yourself or for anyone that's out there trying to like, you know, get out of that little comfort zone that you have, I feel like that's something cool too. It's just maybe just record instead of a video camera, you know, and then once you do the recording, and then after that, take the next step to the video, you know, see yourself on video and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it's just trial and error. Like, if you don't mess up, you ain't getting better. That's for sure. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's just a progress as far as like how to maneuver around. It's not just doing what we're doing. It's just life in general.
Exactly.
Like in life in general, you're just gonna need to start from scratch, regardless of whatever it is that you're gonna do, and then understand that you're not gonna be good at it, and then from there just keep getting better, and that's it. That's literally what life is. You know, like you want to do something. Just know you're going to suck from the beginning, and then don't get discouraged. Keep going. You'll keep learning. And then, of course, other people learn quicker. Don't get discouraged on that either. And then just go with the flow as far as like how you learn, and then just make sure that you understand that in the beginning it's hard, and maybe you're not going to make money in the beginning either. It's going to be a struggle. But, you know, if this is what you really want to do, then just keep at it.
Yeah, passion for sure.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, keep that.
It definitely is a process for sure. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes people only see the end result, so they never see that journey that gets taken from like starting off with
Yeah.
like no knowledge and then getting to the point where, you know, where like we're kind of at now. It's like there's a very long process. And even before InView Media, you were already kind of in a process of being a photographer, being a videographer, and you were doing that for how many years? Like a good number, like
Not
what,
really.
like 3
I'm gonna
years?
say 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not like I started like in our first podcast. My background is music, and then I just transitioned to photography, videography because I was bored off of what I was doing routinely. So I wanted some other creative way of just navigating what I needed to just what I wasn't putting in music. I wanted to put it somewhere else. And I'm not the type of person either that could sit around and do nothing. So I got a camera. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, put me in the position where I'm outside, not inside. And then from there, because of social media back then, it was a little bit more natural.
Yeah.
People started seeing my photos, and then I started getting calls. So it kind of like just escalated little by little. But of course, it wasn't like a way that it wasn't something that I was thinking that I was like, oh, I'm going to make millions of dollars, or I want to be famous, or I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
It was more off of like, oh, this looks cool, this looks fun. And then of course the process of learning for me was really like something that I liked, you know, like I didn't understand how to do Lightroom. I'll watch all YouTube, Lightroom, everything, even if it was the type of photography that I didn't like. I at least like how they went from A to B as far as like from scratch, a raw photo, and then the end product. I'm like, that's cool. And the same thing for Photoshop. And then once I got into the video, I started getting into Final Cut Pro. And then now we're starting the podcast, same thing and same progress, you know, as far as like, I didn't know how to do it. I have to learn how to do the setup. I'm still learning as far as like when it comes to the sound stuff. I know for sure that in a couple of years, I'm gonna be like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You could have done this as far as like, you know, like, and the same thing, I'll look back at my old photos or my old videos. I'm like, really? Like, people hired you for this? Like,
Oh man.
but we all start somewhere, you know? We all start somewhere. So as
Yeah.
long as you keep going and just not stopping and making sure that you understand that it's just a process.
If you're not able to look back at your stuff and say that, then you're probably not doing
Yeah,
it right.
yeah, exactly.
You're not doing it right
You're
for
just
sure.
comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
You just-
And sometimes it's like very encouraging to like see that progress too, because sometimes you feel like maybe you're not progressing
You're
as
not
fast as you
moving.
want to. And then you look back like 3 months ago and you're like, whoa, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like way better
for
now than I
sure.
was, you know? And I think social media does put a really big like stress on people to like really be perfect all the time, especially when it comes to like creatives, like, you know, oh, we should get 1 million likes, you should have all these views.
Yeah.
And people are like constantly trying to like reach that.
People won't post because of that. I feel
Yeah,
like people won't
sometimes-
post because they're like, oh, I only got 5 likes, you know, or I
It
only
discourages them.
Exactly, yeah. But
Yeah.
in reality,
Yeah, I honestly, I started another Instagram that I haven't really pushed.
Yeah, I
and
feel
I
it.
haven't even told you guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'll post a picture and it's
post
like
nudes.
10, it's like 10 likes or 8 likes. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like, I just want to post something and
Yeah.
that's it. But I'm not.
Like
I'm not-
photography, you're
Yeah, it's all
saying, or-
photography
okay.
based. Yeah. And then I don't.
Is it different from like what you
completely
do?
different. Yeah,
Okay.
completely different. And it's more of like, I want to do it because I want to do it, you know. A lot of people, they like to post.
The
because
link's
they
in the
like
bio.
The like, you know, the like button or whatever. And they like the comments and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just more off of, I'm trying to go backwards again, just to understand that, is this what you really want to do, longevity? Or is this just financial?
Yeah, yeah.
It is financial at the end of the day because we do have to make money to make, you know, have our lives
Keep
going.
food
you
on
know?
the table for sure.
Right?
yeah.
But you also have to love what you do too. So that's kind of why I started that Instagram. And then maybe I'll market it, you know, at one point. But at this point, I'm like, whoever finds it, finds it. Whoever doesn't,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. But yeah, it's just.
What's the name? I'm just kidding.
Link in bio, yo. Link in bio on the bottom.
the link in the bio?
Everyone go look for it. Everyone look for it.
I know.
It's called
Whoever
Lost
whoever finds it first
Whoever
gets
finds it
$10.
first.
Documentary of Lost in,
For real.
Lost in the sauce. It's all tapatio.
And I feel like even for me, when it comes to like editing and photography, I don't post anything ever really. And like my brother will tell me like, oh, you should post more. You should post like a photo a day just to like get in the habit of doing it. But then I feel like I just get so busy and caught up with like editing and all this stuff that social media is just can be kind of hard to keep up with, especially on a daily.
It's not hard, it's just distracting.
Very.
Like you'll get into it and then it becomes like it consumes your life, and that's kind of where I don't like it. Like I don't like being on social media as much as like I'll go on and I'll post a story and that's it. I don't want to write a description or a caption and all that stuff. So stories for me are just easier. I'm not navigating my life to think about why I'm posting. I'm just going to post it so that people could view what I'm posting.
That's for sure. I have no posts on my Instagram.
I think you have like one picture.
You got like 2 or 1. Bro.
Yeah. I was like,
even though I got content, but I don't know. I
remember I was looking at your portfolio because I asked, or when you messaged me, I clicked on it and I was like, like 2 pictures.
I got it all on the phone, bro. I got it all on the phone.
I was like, where's your content? I was like, I need an example. He's like, oh, I'll just show you when
I go. It's on my Google Drive.
He brings like his huge VHS.
I'm gonna start posting my Google Drive instead. I'm just post my link. That's it.
All right. But no, as far as like is there anything that you would want to like kind of like say to anybody out there that's actually trying to get into the same, not real estate photography or videography, but the realms
just
of being a creative?
Right? Yeah, just being creative. I think for sure. It's gonna be a little long road. But what I mean by that is the little part is it matters a little because once you get your camera, once you get your like anything that you get, either you're doing sound or creative or whatever you're doing, just get into it before you even able to buy a camera probably. Like go find people that have the camera or just that passion has to push you to do things like that. And I feel like even with me, I started as a little kid, just doing little videos, doing little things like that. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like just start with little things, but then it's gonna get long because then you're gonna want to get good at it.
Yeah.
Like everything, everyone wants to get good at whatever they're doing. So it's I think just stay focused. For sure, don't get discouraged because I know it is very, very hard to work on something very hard and then see the end product and not be completely satisfied at all. So that part is hectic, but I mean, just get into the work. That's for sure. Like, go take a risk that you wouldn't have taken like yesterday, or anything like that, because those things are the things that will make you the better person and make you a better creative, way better creative. Because, like I said, I should have learned how to edit when my little brother was learning how to edit, and that's my flaw now, and that's where I could maybe right now I could have been helping a little more if I knew how to edit or anything like that, or I could get just different opportunities, opportunities for sure. So other than that, I mean, work hard for sure, like work hard and like don't let, I mean, like you said, the Instagram and all that, the social media thing like that. I think we all have that in common to where we don't post a lot and stuff. Yeah. But we for sure have all in common where we work, we get the work done. So I think that's two different things that I feel like we both have in common. But I think we everyone just keep working hard and don't think that just because that video comes out where they, you can do this in 1 day or you can do that in 2 days. Yeah, that's even those people know for sure in their head that it took a while to get there. It's a road.
Yeah. You being the younger guy in the team, is there anything else that you would actually say to those that are in the age bracket as far as like when it comes to finances though? Because that's the one thing that we don't really talk about when as creatives, and that's something that I had to learn myself.
That's for sure.
From the beginning, I would always say like I hate money because it distorts my view of what I'm doing. Yeah. And it also like it distracts me from what the product in my head, like the end product could be because of the way that the client wants it to be. And I know because I'm trying to make that client happy and I'm like, I need that money because I need to pay my car insurance or whatever. What would you kind of like recommend, or if not, how would you kind of go about, like telling a person that's the same age bracket as far as like how to look at money when it comes to being a creative?
I think for sure you gotta be able to sacrifice a lot, just because I feel like you need a sacrifice as in like when you buy that camera, or you buy any equipment or you buy things like that, you gotta see it as an investment, and I feel like as a creative or as someone coming into the team and things like that, I feel like you have to be confident in the fact that you're gonna this is all investing, you know, like just like the real we're in real estate, photography, videography. The way they see it is, okay, like when you buy a house, you're investing, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why I think that's a big up for me, is where I knew that when I bought my first $3,000 camera or whatever, it's an investment. It wasn't just me buying something that it's a PS5 or something, you know, like even a PS5 though, if you're a gamer or something, you Twitch on, you stream on Twitch or something, that's an investment. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's something that I wish I would have started reading a little earlier in my life and things like that. But I mean, if you are the same age as me right now, 24, just start reading for sure some financial books, start reading for sure, like some like saving, how to save money, you know, how to save certain pieces of money for either your car oil change or your gas money for the month, or how to save just for a rainy day, you know, like you like literally a statistic in life is literally for all like Americans or California, you know, it's people don't really have $500 just even in the bank just in case, you know. So that should just tell you right there and then you got to have $500. Be that other percent that's not in that part of, like, you know, that statistic. Because yeah, for sure, like, just finances is like a big deal to where it can be discouraging. That's number one. Even the product, whatever you make, you know, that's not just the discouraging part. It could be the finances too, you know. But I think just learn how to save money, for sure. Learn how to save money. Learn how to not be so hurt when you actually purchase something, because you just need to give it your all. Like I said, you know, you just work hard, and I promise it'll pay off for sure. Like, anything you work hard on, for sure, it'll pay off at the end of the day, you know. So I think saving money and learning that finances isn't the worst part of life, you know, like money isn't the biggest part of life either. So I just feel like being happy is more important than money at one point. But like you said, we gotta have food on our table, you know, we gotta feed our family, we gotta do things like that. But I mean, if you want to feed yourself and only yourself, you should have enough money to be able to do other things, you know. But if you're feeding a whole family and things like that, you should have the motivation to want to go get more, you know what I mean? So that's something that I think I have, where I don't just want to retire my parents, I want to retire them and more people. Exactly. You know what I mean? I want to be able to give people a source of income, you know, just like Irvin's doing, in my opinion. For me, that's something, in my opinion, that I really admire from Irvin, because I'm like, that's something I want to do for sure. You know, like I purchased a photo booth recently, you know, and I'm trying to push that business as well. But I'm also not just trying to push it for myself. I pushed it because my father's getting older, you know, and I want him to have a certain, like, retirement money and things like that, you know.
Different lifestyle,
bro. Like, because the guy works way too hard, you know, still to this day. And I just feel like if he can just work a photo booth instead of going an 8-hour job, bro, like, you know, like, and I'm just trying to show him that there's so many opportunities, so many different things that this new life has brought us, you know. And yeah, just that. And also, just like I said, if you want to retire more than just your parents, or even just your parents, that motivation gotta push you. It got to push you to not really care that your bank account's at zero, you know, because your bank has a zero, but the tummies are full for them and for you, and your mind's just always going to be getting more full, you know, like, so no matter what, there's always sources of income out there for you. So if you can work, you can get money, you know, and I feel like finances is always just a discourage to people that don't want to work more than 8 hours a day, you know. Or don't even want to work the 8 hours a day, you know.
Like, and then you feel entitled. Exactly. Like, why am I broke? Why am I unhappy? You got to work
you got to work if you want it. You know, if you want it, you for sure got to work. So I think my advice is work.
Especially
I guess, you know,
in California, for sure. It's expensive.
It's expensive,
it is
man.
expensive.
We live in Palmdale, and it's expensive. This is Palmdale.
It's the AV. It's the repping the AV though.
The AV. It's expensive, bro. Can't even afford a house anymore.
Go to the AV mall, can't buy a shirt.
Gotta go to Roma.
No, I think that's true though. Like, people in your age group can sometimes get caught up on, like, lifestyle versus like maybe ambition or their career. And, you know, it's still a process because you're young, because you're learning even what you want to do. And then it's like, if you do want to get into the creative lifestyle, you are going to be making a lot of sacrifices. You are going to have to say no to, like, hanging out with friends or, you know, going on trips with friends, parties, all that stuff, because you are going to be working a lot more, and you don't necessarily have a set, you know, income that you're making every month, like someone would if they have a, you know, that regular 9-to-5 job, and they know every paycheck they're getting this amount. And as a creative, until you get to the point where you have established yourself, you are still kind of fluctuating when it comes to income, or until you find like a job that is going to pay you a certain amount per month for your work, you're going to be having to really go out there and, get that work. Like you're saying, like you have to go out and you have to like fight for it. You have to go out and you have to look for it. It's some of it's going to come your way, but not all of it.
Not all of it, yeah.
Or it's not going to come consistently.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing that I've always encouraged the team to actually think about too when they're in the team, because a lot of people do get comfortable when they actually get something that's consistent. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really have to work for actually getting the client, or I don't have to work for actually building the business. It's almost like set. It's like it's given to me, but it's always like, for me, I'm like, just make sure that this is something that you really want to do, because longevity wise, I don't want you to feel too comfortable, because there's a lot of kids out there that want to do exactly what you're doing. Yeah. And as far as like, I know from with what I've seen in the team, everybody is wanting this, you know, and that's kind of what encourages me to keep pushing to get newer clients, or growing the company in different avenues, like the podcast. We're doing headshots now, and of course we are going to start growing into different avenues when it comes to media. But until then, we're going to perfect as much as we can when it comes to the real estate photography and videography. But yeah, that's awesome though. Like as far as like, that's something that I had to learn at a later age, as far as like when it comes to finances too. My background's always been as a creative. I always thought as a creative, I'm like, nah, I hate money, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to live my life off blah, 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 whatever. It was just a fantasy, you know, until I started actually making certain amount. And then I started to actually realize like, maybe one day I do want to have a family. Maybe one day I want to buy a house, but that comes with the responsibilities, you know? So of course you have to build yourself. And then of course, then you have to build certain things and within yourself to actually keep going. So it could become a standard within your own self as far as like what you want to become. And like you said, I don't want to just grow the company for myself. I want to grow it for all of us. Yeah, exactly. So that you could have this position as being a creative. The same thing with Ariana, the same thing with Jordan. And of course now Aaron coming into the team. We're all a team. We have to encourage everybody as far as like, we have to give each other a certain amount of energy just in case we are tired or we're feeling sick or whatever. We're just a team that we just need to keep pushing everyone, not just ourselves.
That's facts.
Oh yeah.
As far as like everything else, I think, like I said, I've seen your progress. I've seen Ariana's progress. I've seen everyone's progress within the team. And I'm really, really proud with everybody. That's what they've been doing. And of course, now your brother coming into the team. I'm pretty sure within a couple of months, I'm going to see his progress too. I'm like, oh, bro, like I remember your first video and now look at what you're doing now. And then I hope it encourages Ariana and both of them to kind of like see what they could actually, like maybe Ariana didn't see certain things that he's now doing, because now he feels more confident in what he's doing. So now he's going to kind of skew away from what we've been teaching him, which has been one of those things that I've noticed when it comes to the people that I brought in. So if I see certain things on your video section, I've seen a couple clips. I'm like, man, I didn't even think about that. And that for me is like, it's encouraging to grow as a creative too. Because I am a creative, but of course I am a business now. So I have to kind of navigate from both business and a creative, but it's always amazing just to see the people that didn't know anything from what we're doing, and now seeing them where they're at now, and then just seeing the growth from it, and it gives me energy too. Like oh, like they're
I could tell for sure. Yeah, that's something too. Yeah, that's for sure. Like you don't just see progress from us; we see it from you too, because like the teaching and everything like that. That it's for sure great. You know what I mean? Like I still ask questions because I want to. I'm probably gonna ask questions till till the end of time, bro. That's for sure. You know, but yeah, and the way you answer them and everything is cool. It's really understandable. You know what I mean? That's cool. So yeah.
Well, my background, I wanted to be a teacher.
I was a teacher, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like I've navigated my life on the idea that I don't know anything as far as like what I'm doing. I'm still a student. And I don't ever want to come off as being cocky, you know, or just being the guy that like, being ignorant, you know? So if I could at least explain it where I know I would understand what I'm explaining, because when I was in school, man, I was like you. I couldn't sit still. Like the teacher was telling me something, I was just literally staring at her, but my mind was completely somewhere else. I was like, man, the realm of reality for me was like, I don't care about algebra. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what? I have no idea. She literally stared at me and she asked me exactly. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, that was me, you know. Like,
Is what it is.
well, that was because technically, yeah, I could have maybe tried a little bit harder, but still, like the way that the school system is actually put in place,
Yeah, it is.
it's very systematic. Where I'm like, okay, you're the way that you're teaching is to teach a group of kids, but not everyone's the same.
Not everyone's the same, yeah. And that you can obviously tell that because I mean, look at the business that you grew. You know, other people haven't done that, so it's just different minds and different ways people do things. You know, and I think that that's the biggest motivation I feel like for a lot of us is just seeing those creatives and seeing how they do it. That's just it really it's mind blowing to me, you know, because I'm like, dang, they thought about that. You know, like that's
I agree.
cool.
I agree. I think it's awesome to be like surrounded by different levels of creativity and like different types because it does inspire you. Like Irvin was saying, like you do shots that I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. This is gonna be really fun to edit. And you know, Irvin does different shots, and you know, even with Isaac for the little amount of time that you know we've been kind of working, it's like I'm excited, like you were saying, I'm excited to see his progress and see him develop as an editor for real estate because I feel like it is going to directly inspire me and like he is going to see things that I wouldn't have seen, or he's going to do things in a way that I haven't or didn't even think of. So that's exciting for me, like bringing on another editor and kind of getting that opportunity on my end.
That's true.
Yeah, just bringing in people with the same type of energy too.
Yeah,
you know, same type
that
of
too.
mentality. That's kind of what I want to bring in as far as like as a unit. I don't want anybody to come in and just like, oh, I know more than this guy, I know more than this guy, so I'm gonna be above. I always want it to be where like, okay, we're encouraging everybody within the team.
Yeah.
If you know a little bit more about lighting, bro, teach me.
Sure.
You know, or same thing with sound. I'm learning about sound. I come from music, but I was a guitar player. I was in the sound engineer. I was like, compression. What is that? You know, I need to use a cloud lifter. I don't even know what that is. I'm like, so I'm learning new aspects within another realm of creative, which allows me to like, okay, I like that. I like learning as far as like what I want to learn.
Yeah.
I want to learn about geometry.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
like, what is that good sound? Like, it ain't gonna do for now. Like,
And that's for everyone. That's for everyone.
exactly.
I feel like that's for everyone.
I like math. I mean, I don't know.
she likes math.
I enjoyed it.
That's one person.
There you go. I mean, she her bank account probably steady because of that, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Got her taxes done.
First question she asked me: have you been keeping track of your gas?
I did ask that.
I'm like, Ariana, I don't know.
There's a calculator. In
Yeah, I was like, how much do you spend on gas a month? Because I'm just wondering, like, on
Yeah,
that
we have
side,
the same
you
kind
know,
of card
like,
too.
yeah, just, and you're
Honda,
doing a lot more
sponsored by
jobs.
Honda.
Get a hybrid.
Get a hybrid. Yeah. Get a
They
hybrid.
do have hybrids now.
Yeah, they do have
Right?
hybrids.
Get a
They got
Tesla.
electric ones too.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Trying-
Gas is
trying to-
getting
trying to
expensive.
upgrade, yeah.
Gas is getting
It
expensive.
is getting
you know?
expensive.
We're at what, over six right now?
Yep.
So we are spending a little bit more money on gas, and
That's for
it's
sure.
one of those things that we have to then talk about within the team too, as far as like how much travel our fees are going to be. Of course, we did raise our prices in December. We may have to raise them again just because you know we have to keep up with the livable wages for
Inflation.
you guys.
Inflation, bro.
Inflation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
No, but I mean that's part of it. Like that's where you said like being creative. You know, is just that finances is never going to be like exactly the same every month, and that's where it also hits too. It's just life is never going to be the same every day. You know, I mean, gas can go up, anything can happen any day. You know, I don't know. It's just crazy.
yeah.
yeah. As far as everything else that we've been talking about, is there any questions that you would want to ask us? Because I know you're like one of the newbies that came in. Is there anything that you would want to ask Ariana or myself?
Probably just. I mean, how'd you guys meet again? I mean,
Oh well, you knew my brother, or like
okay.
he knew
I
my.
know that.
yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay.
Well, I didn't. He's like,
Yeah, I knew that.
yeah, well, Irvin like knew my siblings, my older siblings. They went to school
okay,
together,
okay.
and
Cool,
so we were in high school for like
Right.
we overlapped in high school for like
Little
a
sister
year
right
or
here.
two. So that's how we met, or that's how we know each other.
Yeah.
Cool.
Were you were a freshman? I was a senior, or I was a junior.
You're the same age as my brother,
Yeah.
David. So I was a freshman. You would have been a junior.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because
Cool,
I've
cool.
known her brother and her older sister since I'm gonna say.
And then your older sister knew my older sister.
Yeah,
right?
so they've known each other since elementary, and I met your
Elementary?
Sheesh.
See, I didn't even know that.
Sheesh.
So I actually got to know your sister in junior high, and I got to know your brother. I probably seen him around
Junior
in
high,
elementary.
probably.
But
What?
I
I went to Pear Blossom Elementary.
either summer school because I remember seeing
Oh,
them.
maybe. Then
Yeah, I
summer
remember
school.
seeing your brother and your sister at some point, and then we got into junior high, and I'm like, oh, I already recognized that face. And then we were in band, so it was either through competition or something that I was like, oh yeah. But me and your brother we became friends in junior high, and then we became closer friends in high school, and then all through high school we were just, we were always chilling.
Yeah.
And of course, completely different personality
I
than
figured,
Ariana.
yeah.
He's
My brother?
Yeah, your brother's completely different. Like
He's
introvert
very,
like myself.
very mellow,
Yeah.
very laid
Yeah,
back.
he's chill too.
Everyone's terrified of him. Like everyone, like well, because they're like
When
they
people
say
don't
that
talk,
he's so
bro,
because he's
people say that. People say when people don't talk, you get scared.
well,
of
not
them,
terrified,
honestly.
like not like appearance wise, but
So-
they're just like they say he's like the strongest person they've ever met,
That's
but he
what's up.
doesn't
That's what's up.
look it.
That's good
And
though.
it's
man.
like Brandon Thomas.
yeah.
So he's he's like this really like fit 6 foot
Mm-hmm.
Marine, and then he's like, no, I'm scared of your brother. Your brother's strong, and I'm like,
I don't know.
but he is strong. Like
Yeah.
Strong-minded,
when we
man.
were kids,
Yeah,
he'd
strong-minded.
like just like like always
He's like Ariana, come here.
But yeah, so
cool.
that's how.
And I mean, when
met.
did you start editing? I suppose.
Well, I had moved out here in 2019, like right before the pandemic, like maybe a year-ish before the pandemic. And I was moving out here, and I had kind of hit Irvin up because I wanted to get back into doing like photography, videography. And I knew he was doing it, and he was kind of really the only person I knew out here that was doing it. I didn't really know anyone.
He was the first. Remember that.
So yeah, I basically hit him up, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be moving back out there. So, I'm trying to get into into photography, essentially. That's what it was. And I was like, so if you have any events or anything that you need help with, or, if I can just come along just to learn, let me know. Like, I'm free. And so that's kind of how it started with like a wedding, I think, at first, but that was video. And you're like, oh, if you want to do video or learn video, I'm doing a wedding, so let me know. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm down to learn anything, all of it. So we did like a couple weddings, and we had like a grand opening. Do you remember that with Victor?
Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah.
That grand
Yeah, when he
opening.
had his studio.
And then then a few months later is when you kind of started InView, and had an existing editor, but you just, it just wasn't working out. And he was like, hey, would you be interested in editing? And I was like, well, I've never done that. And he's like, well, because I was working another like part-time job.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we'd need you full-time because we're going to be getting rid of this guy. And if you can learn it in 2 weeks, like start like November. And I think this was like the end of October. And I was like, well, okay.
All right.
So then I was just basically going to his house like every day or every other day after work, and would just sit there for like hours just editing, and he would just teach me.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started.
That's
I remember the computer she started on too.
dedication right there.
The computer I started
Yeah,
on.
I remember you're like, oh, I had to take my whole, the whole MacBook, the whole screen to your sister's house. You're living at your parents at the time, and then you're like, oh, I went to go visit my sister somewhere, but I had to take the whole computer. It was like literally not a laptop.
Wait, what?
It was your MacBook.
iMac.
Yeah, it was
Wait,
your
which-
iMac. There you go.
iMac.
I think you had an iMac at the time.
I don't think I used that for editing.
No, you tried to, because I asked you, I'm like, oh, how quick is your computer? I think I was also trying to teach you photo, but then you realized it wasn't. Quick enough.
Oh, because I had a desktop. I had the iMac, and it was older. It was like a few years old. So I was like, I was learning Photoshop on there, but it was kind of slow because it was older.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's a little slow, so it's probably going to take some time.
It's a little bit of time
Yeah.
just to turn it on.
That's what happens with programs too,
10
man.
minutes. Like,
Just turn it on. Yeah, she told me that. She was like, I don't know about that. I was like, all right, let me go get something for the company right now.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
'cause-
so that's
yeah.
how we started the editing. And,
That's
I
cool,
look
that's
back
cool.
at my videos,
I mean, hey,
and I'm just like,
it's a
whoa.
good thing. It's a good thing.
So
It's that
glad they
dedication, though,
don't
that's for
look like
sure.
that anymore. But I feel like that's the thing with just the process in general. It's like I feel like there's always something you can improve upon and learn to do better. And that's kind of what I enjoy about it. That side of it is that you're never going to be perfect or like have it, like grasp it fully. I feel like there's always going to be something you can improve upon.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy that I'm constantly learning and constantly making what I do better through it.
Making adjustments.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's inspiring always to everyone out there too. I mean, that's that dedication. She had 2 weeks, bro, to learn how to edit, bro. 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
That 2 weeks.
Like, y'all,
I was terrified. I was like,
I
oh
have
gosh.
pictures of her literally.
that's
like
what I'm
my
saying,
room's
man.
so tiny, and I was like, it's either a chair or you can sit on my bed.
The bed.
And I'm
The
like,
desk reaches the bed, bro.
And then I'd like pass out. And just
She
be like,
did.
"Ugh."
You passed out. I think you got sick though. You got sick for
Oh yeah, I was a
December.
little, yeah.
No,
That
you
was
got- you
crazy
got
because I
sick
got really
for-
sick.
You got sick for like 2 months.
I wonder if I had corona then before it was a
Hey.
thing.
Like we
First to have corona,
yeah,
too.
right. It was the first one. That's where it started.
Corona or COVID? My bad.
Corona.
COVID, yeah.
Think about the corona.
Coronavirus.
It is. Coronavirus.
But
Yeah, but I remember she got sick.
I did get really sick,
Yeah, I was like
and that was
editing on
crazy.
my computer, and I turned around like, what the heck?
What's going on
Like,
with my editor?
I
Yeah.
was like, you dead.
which was lucky around the time that I got sick because it slows down around that time.
Yeah,
So around that
that's
time we didn't have a lot of videos. So I was like, oh, thank goodness I can just sleep because I think I was sick for almost a month,
you were a little bit longer.
and I
than
was
that.
like deadly. Like I was in bed for like 2 weeks, was not
no,
moving.
because I remember it snowed. Was it November? I think it was in November you got sick.
It was like towards the end of November.
Yeah, because I remember it was.
I think it was
had to
around
drop something off at
Thanksgiving
your
break.
house, and you and your brothers were gonna make a snowman or something, and you
What's
were
up?
you were like in the process of getting better, and you're like, no, I want to build
It's
a
snow,
snowman
bro.
with my
It's
brothers.
snow. That thing will get you out of bed for sure. Man.
And then
I was
literally
sick
after
1
that,
second
you got
ago.
worse. I'm like, oh, I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was getting better, and then it got worse.
Yeah, I was like, why'd you build a snowman?
And at that time, like I had no, like, you know, I didn't have like, I was working with InView Media, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like I didn't have health insurance.
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta fight through this. I gotta just like
Gotta
not
drink some
die.
Eat that water.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Stay
no,
hydrated.
I got better. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was just a really bad.
It was like a flu or something. 'Cause I remember
Something.
you
Yeah.
had like you're coughing. And
Yeah,
you
maybe it
just-
was like respiratory
Something.
respiratory
But you were
infection.
sick for a good minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how Ariana started in the team.
That's cool, man. I'm telling you
Ariana started.
that's enough dedication. I mean, that's enough information for someone to out there to really like grasp that, you know, to really see
Yeah,
like, oh,
if
she
you
had
really
a
wanna do
part-time
it.
job, but she still
Yeah.
she really wanted to do this, you know. And I mean,
Well, it was a gamble for her too in the
That's
beginning,
it.
you know, because it's not like we had a bunch of clients
exactly
yet,
yeah. hmm
and I had to kind of like almost like put it in her head too, like be realistic. I'm like, it's not like I'm making millions right now,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm not bringing the
Or is he?
dollar bills, you know, right?
Or is he?
Yeah, it's not my pocket. It's my secret bank account.
Offshore bank account.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a gamble for both of us, you know, because we also brought other people in, and I've taught them for months,
Yeah.
and they just leave, or
Yeah.
they decide to start their own company doing exactly what we're doing, and it's a give and take as far as like, okay, I'm gonna bring you in, and I'm gonna trust you until I don't trust you, and
Yeah.
luckily it worked out for her, you know, like it worked out for both of us, I guess, for the company where
Yeah.
she stayed, she kept learning, and now where she's at right now.
I think it's the motivation of what you saw grow too, right?
Yeah,
How you saw the
definitely.
business, like, you saw
I
you-
definitely saw it as something like a niche that kind of was still growing, like
Mm-hmm.
hadn't really been saturated, especially like with the videography, any of that. And the pandemic hit, so that was also kind of a little scary because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, are we gonna
We're gonna go broke.
is our company
No,
gonna, you know,
the millions are gone. Yeah.
sink? Are we gonna make it through this? And it ended up kind of being a blessing in disguise because everything did become like online. People
Online,
weren't going
virtual, yeah.
out. People were, you know, like you mentioned before in our other podcast, that agents who weren't doing video or photo before now kind of had
Started
to
doing it.
because
They started
You know,
seeing the benefits.
they
of it,
couldn't
probably.
like go and bring people into other people's homes. Like everything, you know, people had to stay at home. So now they were ordering photos, they were getting videos, and
3D
then
Matterport.
that was where kind of like you and Clinton all kind of like your guys's like the quality came into play,
Yeah.
where we kind of had to bring that quality every single time so that they would now create the standard for themselves. Like, okay, I'm having listing, so now I am going to do photo. I am going to do video. And
The Matterport was a
Kind
big
of.
thing too.
Yeah,
back then.
that's what I figured
That
too.
was like almost every other house, and I was by myself.
yeah.
yeah, that was,
Shout out Matterport, all right? Shout out Matterport. We gotta
Please sponsor us.
please, because we use you. we use you.
We need to update that or upgrade that package on the website. Matterport.
I know. I like doing the Matterport though. I feel like I'm
Cool.
the only
It's
one that
just-
likes
it's
doing
fun. Probably Aaron likes it too, right?
Yeah, Aaron likes it.
Aaron likes it too.
Aaron likes it too.
I enjoy
It
it.
comes in the Matterport pictures.
Matterport picture, yeah.
I was like, he's in the
He
Matterport.
sold with it.
He's in the reflection all the time. Yeah, no, it was definitely a blessing in disguise, but it was definitely hard for everybody. You know, like as far as like we didn't know where it was gonna go.
Yeah.
I had to talk to the whole team as far as like, okay, I have to be realistic. The company isn't like, you know, like I said, it wasn't there yet as when it comes to the finances. So I had to talk to her, talk to Clinton. And then of course we had an intern at the time, like, okay, this is what I need to do as far as like, so that just in case it slows down for a month or two, then I could still kind of like at least pay you something.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, but like I said, it kind of just like blew up. But I think it was like what they were saying that we couldn't go out and work or whatever.
Yeah, they had the stay-at-home orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, home orders, yeah.
But I was like,
Nah, bro.
nah.
Businesses don't stop, y'all.
Nah.
I think they were like really strict about it in certain areas. I feel like out here
It was like more
was
LA, I think, right?
Yeah, I feel out
I was
here
driving to LA,
it
there was no
was.
cars.
No cars. Huh?
That was awesome, wasn't
that
it?
was
I
awesome,
was
probably.
love that.
I still have a picture of the 405.
Freeway just
I was like,
clear,
a picture of
open.
405, a plane, and there's like barely any cars in front of me. I was like, bro, that's my picture.
At like 5:30 or 7 too.
Yeah, I was like-
Traffic hour.
yeah,
It's like you could get everywhere in like 5 minutes.
yeah, it was cool though. But now it's just like going back to normal. Now we're trying to get like the flow of things, and I did learn a lot from last year as far as like if it does get busy, we need people, and of course now the summer's here. If you're feeling it now, it's like July, that's where it gets hot.
Imagine that,
So, and last year it was just me and Clinton.
Even
and
worse.
We had another person in the team where it was just like, it wasn't enough people. We're like, all right, we have like 2 houses a day, diamond package each, you know, and then it was a daily from Sunday to Sunday, no days off, because, you know, it was a big proponent as far as like how to market your house and all that stuff. So now it's like, okay, let's build the team as much as we can, because I do want to give people time off now where they could relax and just like live their life too, because it's not just about working all the time too.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything's getting there, you know, like
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
learning,
It
you know,
truly is.
as far as like the business is going, I'm definitely learning how to communicate better when it comes to the team. I'm learning how to manage everything, managing the clients as well, how to get new clients too, you know, without overworking myself, because I do work every day. And of course now we're trying to build, like I said, different avenues for the team so that we can stay consistently active, because it does become seasonal at certain points, you know, within real estate photography and videography. Our biggest season is the summer, and then it slows down in January. I think January is our slowest season. But yeah, everything's been cool so far, you know.
Yeah,
Everyone's
definitely.
getting along, you know.
Yeah. For
Everyone's
sure,
been
yeah.
chilling,
That's for sure.
you know, learning these new terms.
No
terms,
fights.
new terms.
New
Aaron-
terms,
our-
new slang terms.
Our new guy Aaron taught me something too. It's in the details, yo.
In the
It's
details.
in
In
the
the
details.
details.
That really stuck out to me.
He taught me
lot.
manifesting.
Hey, there you go.
Oh,
there you go.
manifesting.
He's like,
There you go.
I'm manifesting.
Manifesting, bro.
I was like, all right.
That's the truth too.
I was like,
That's the truth.
I was like, all right. I
Speak
got
it
you.
into existence.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all learning from each other, so it's all cool.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we're just gonna conclude this podcast, but we got things to do. I know you got a house going on in at 2:00. I
But
think.
yeah, 2:00. Yeah. Diamond package.
And
Yeah.
then Mr. Aaron, he has a haircut.
There you go.
appointment.
There you go. There you
You
go.
know, he doesn't want to grow
Gotta
it out
get the fresh
anymore.
fade. Got the fresh
You know,
fade.
he's not about the hair no more, so gotta get it clean. So, all right, everybody, thank you for listening, and of course, we are going to bring on another photographer within a couple of weeks, or if not a week. His name is Jordan, and if there's any questions that you would want to ask us, please contact us on our IG, Facebook, or if not, our email. I'm pretty sure once we start uploading these actual videos, we'll put all that information on the description. So,
Yeah,
all right.
definitely.
Other
Yeah,
than
thank
that,
you.
we signing off. This is Israel. Shout out to Ari. Shout out to my boy Irvin.
Until next time.
Till next time, y'all.
All right, then.
Stay tuned.